Well, good evening. We want to welcome you to In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, we're so excited to be sharing with you guys on this evening. And I tell you, it's just going to be an awesome, awesome episode. Tonight, we're going to be talking about things I wish someone would have told me about the blended family. Listen, this was one of the things that we've said even ourselves when we got into the blended family. Many people have said it to us throughout the years as we've been sharing our testimony, the things we've gone through, and we've ministered to hundreds upon hundreds of people, married couples, blended families, as relates to this dynamic, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, what they should do, how they should do it. And I tell you, it's just been phenomenal. But this one question, it seems like it's a consensus. Everybody has said this at some time or another. I wish somebody would have told me about the blended family. And so we're going to jump right into it because there are a lot of points we're going to pick up on this evening. But as we always do, we want to start with our statistics. But before we do that, listen, if you have any questions, something that you wish somebody would have told you, put it here on the Facebook Live right now. Place it up there, a question that you wish somebody would have told you. If you want to shoot us an email, how do they reach us, sweetheart?
We are a blendedfamily@gmail.com.
So you can shoot us a quick email. We are a blendedfamily@gmail.com. 'Cause I promise you, there's going to be some things that we discuss on tonight, and there are going to be some things that you wish we would have discussed, but we may be able to pick it up on next week. And so you can email us at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. If we don't cover that one specific question or topic that you want to talk about, make sure that you reach out to us with this. And so let's jump into the statistics.
23% of married adults have been married before. 92% of all men and women married by the age of 50. 16% of children live with a blended parent, blended sibling, or half-sibling. 13% of adults are blended parents, 29 to 30 million.
Wow.
15% of men are blended dads, 16.5 million. And 12% of women are blended moms, 14 million.
Wow. It's amazing how statistically there are more blended dads than there are blended moms. And so, I mean, it's phenomenal when you think about this blended family dynamic, how just across the globe, there are so many people that's impacted by this, how statistically you're seeing things that you never even thought of, you never even pictured. But when you look at it from your standpoint, you see how all these statistics make sense. And so it's just something that we just love sharing statistics. That's one of my tongue twisters. That word statistic is just something, but I just love statistics. I love reading statistics. I love hearing about statistics, and I love making new statistics. There are some statistics that I don't like. There's some that I love. And so we share these statistics with you guys, not just so that you can have some information, but that you can have revelation and understanding so that we can make a change on some and improve on others. And so, again, 23% of married adults have been married before. That's huge. 92% of all men and women married by the age of 50. So regardless of what a person is saying now, eventually they'll get to that point. 16% of children live with a blended parent, blended sibling, or a half-sibling. Wow. 13% of adults are blended parents. That's 29 to 30 million adults.
Wow.
That's a lot of people that are blended parents. 15% of men are blended dads. 16.5 million men are blended dads. That's big.
That's more than the women.
I was going to say, and 12% of women are blended moms. That's 14 million. And so, again, look at these statistics, see where you fit in, see where you need to change, and let's move forward. And so we're going to jump right into things I wish someone would have told me about the blended family. What's the first one, sweetheart?
You like things your way more than you think.
Wow.
Hey, Kana.
I wish somebody would have told me about that one, because that was something that I struggled with big time. I love things my way. I didn't know how much I love things my way until I got in the blended family. I mean, I love just everything that I love it my way.
Well, I mean, I think we both really experienced that, because I liked things the way that I had it.
I know, but I love things my way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you may have liked things your way, but I really love things my way. And so I wish somebody would have told me that, going into this, you may realize that you like things your way. But there were some things that I like my way, but I was eager to change.
Like what?
Like,
that's one thing.
I like leaving up the toilet seat. I think that's a man thing. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's just something simple.
Yeah.
But that's something that I like. But because I had a household full of women, I had to change that.
Yep.
So there were some things that I liked and that I really realized that I liked, but I was eager to change because I was more into pleasing you and my family than I was about just staying on what I really like. But there's some people, sweetheart, they can't move past that. There's some people, they like me liking my time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how much I really liked being by myself until I was with a group of people.
Who was the biggest compromiser between y'all when y'all were on the road to positive changes?
So one of the questions is, who was the biggest compromiser between the both of us when we were on the road to positive changes? That's a real good question.
I probably compromised more.
You think so? Tell me.
Yeah,
Tell me why you think so.
Because I compromised a lot to let you do things the way that you like to do it, and have things the way that you wanted them.
Explain yourself.
That's explanation. That is explaining.
That's not. That's just
yes,
talk.
it is.
That's jibber
Yes,
jabber.
it is.
I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah, you do.
So you think you was the biggest compromiser?
I think so.
Okay, I don't.
You think you was?
I think I was.
Okay.
No, but you know what? You may have been the biggest compromiser on certain things. Let's say it like that. We both compromise. To answer that question, we both compromise equally. I think there were certain things that I compromised on. There were certain things that you compromised on. And so if we will look at it from that standpoint, I think it was an equal compromise. I don't think we were two.
She said, with us is me. Van might disagree a little bit. LOL.
I think I feel the same way. I think I feel the same way. But no, I just think that there are times where I will compromise, and then there were times when Madeline would compromise. And so I don't know if we really kept account. It may have felt like she compromised more because she had to compromise with me as well as the girls. And so I think from that standpoint, that's where that made her point valid because of that compromise. But I think in totality, I think we probably both compromised equally. Because I don't think we, on the road to improving ourselves, I think we both came into it where we were just going to just do whatever we needed to do.
Yeah, because she said on the road to positive change.
Exactly. So on that road, I think we both just decided, we were going to do whatever it took to make this the best.
Right.
And so that's how I would answer that. But again, that's something that I wish somebody would have told us about. That you were going to like things your way. Mm-hmm. And I love things my way. I love to fold clothes my way. There's a specific way that I fold clothes. I don't like them any other way. There's a specific way that I clean. I don't like it any other way. If you clean opposite of how I clean, I got a problem with it. And it's real. And so, thanks, y'all. Seriously, though, it's different in every situation.
Yeah,
Exactly.
As long as the improvement happens to benefit all, that's what matters most.
Exactly.
Amen.
It's different. And that's why I say I wish somebody would have told me that. You know what I'm saying? Because understanding that for some people that could be a deal breaker. That could be something that really messed things up because you don't really know how much you like things your way.
Yeah.
And so the second one is what, sweetheart?
There may be some jealousy with the ex.
Wow. There may be some jealousy with the ex. And this one here is a little complex. I didn't want to spell it out because I wanted to talk about it. But most people say, I wish somebody would have told me how the ex was going to act up. A lot of people are dealing with situations where the ex can pose a serious problem to their blended family, to their relationship, to their marriage, because of insecurities, because of immaturities, because of a lack of understanding, because of being spoiled, because you may have had a great relationship with them, but it just didn't work. And so just because there was a great relationship, that don't mean that was the relationship. Right. And so there are a lot of things that people get into it. They like, man, I wish somebody would have told me that. And so understand, there's sometimes in this dynamic that you're going to deal with some jealousy with the ex, especially when you are a good person, especially when you treated them good. They've done some things that weren't quite right, and you decide to move on. You decide to go forth with your life, and then you developed and built a new life outside of them. And sometimes it's hard for them to accept that. I remember when I knew that, this was it. We were going to get married, and I remember making a phone call and say, hey, listen, I just want to let you know I'm about to get married. And the statement to me was, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what you mean you don't think so? And literally, I was told, I don't think you're going to get married. And I'm like, you got to be kidding.
So how do you confront that?
I just did. I confronted it, and it was like, there are things in life that you just have to hit head on.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things you have to hit head on. When you're dealing with that jealousy, that insecurity, you're dealing with the thing where somebody's always trying to do things to get the relationship or the dynamic off tilt. You have to deal with that head on. That's something you can't play with.
Right.
That's something you can't pity pat with. You just have to attack it head on. And you do it in love. You do it with the agape love of God, because that's still a human being. You don't want to kill him. You don't want to destroy him. But on the same token, you have to let them know that you're not going to destroy this.
Right. And you have to do it.
Exactly.
That spouse that was, married
Exactly.
to that person.
And I be the one. I was the one for that job. I had no problem with doing that because I learned how to deal with conflict in situations. I'm good at conflict resolution, more than you ever know. And so, but that's because I'm an upfront person. I'm straightforward. I don't play around with it. I go straight at it and I deal with it. But I wish somebody would have told me that, because it would have prepared me. It really threw me off when I made that announcement and then that statement was made to me. And so it was big. So one of our watchers says, only if it's allowed. Gotta handle that stuff head on. There are ways to address. Exactly.
Insecurity in a decent way. When you can't, then decisions have to be made.
Exactly. You have to make a decision, because there's sometimes when you're dealing with things, especially head on, that you just gotta, you know what? You gotta learn how to work around it.
So everyone has to know their roles and respect their roles as such. Yep.
Exactly.
That's right.
And so, man, wow. And so there may be some jealousy with the ex. And then another thing that I've learned over the years is dealing with certain people, different blended family dynamic is that can be on the flip side. Because sometimes people have great relationships with the ex, and that can pose some jealousy.
Right, in the home.
Exactly. That can pose jealousy, and I thank God that we didn't deal with that because, I'm a secure dude. Although my wife, she take pictures with every celebrity.
Yep.
They be.
That's my job.
That is not her job.
That's the perks of my job.
That is not her job. That was the reason why I had to lose some weight, because she's just hugging these little dudes.
Yep.
Every day I got to prove my love. I feel like the color purple. Every day I got to prove my love. She's hugging all these dudes. But no. That is hilarious.
That's funny.
But people deal with that though. They deal with that jealousy because they see how people can be amicable. They can relate to each other. They don't bicker. They don't argue. They decided that, okay, we're no longer together, but this isn't about us. It's about that child, and we still got a co-parent. And so we're not going to fight. We're not going to pose that relationship or promote that relationship to that child. We want them to see the best of both of us. And so sometimes that new spouse or that blended spouse don't know how to handle that. And it's a fine line you got to walk with that too. You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't be having late in the midnight hour phone calls.
Right.
You got to draw the line as it relates to when we going to contact each other, how we going to contact each other, what we going to talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't go over the kids or the children or the child.
Right.
It got to specifically be about them and then only them.
Right.
And so that's something, a lot of people say they wish somebody would have told them.
That's a topic all by itself, co-parents.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yes, Will.
And that's coming up this year. We're going to talk about that.
Yep.
What's the next one, sweetie?
You can have a hard time not comparing this life to the one that you previously had.
Wow. Read that one again.
You can have a hard time not comparing this life to the one that you previously had.
Yes. I've heard that so often. People comparing their new blended family life to their previous life or marriage or relationship. And so, but that's something that nobody ever told them that may come up. Because there are things that in that relationship you may be used to doing, or that person may have done, and you haven't gotten past the way they do things. You haven't gotten past the way they cook, the way they clean, the way they handle this, the way they handle that. And so, or the way they provide, or the way they, go out and do things to make the family better. And so now you in this new family dynamic, you're in this new relationship, this blended family, and you're comparing the old with the new. What's that for? That was interesting. No, I want to stop right there. Did you do
No,
that?
just say it again. No.
Okay, all right. I gotta stop sometime when you do certain things. You gotta make sure you gotta clear the air.
Listen. I'm listening too.
No, but you get what I'm saying though? Because we've had that. We've talked with people that have done that. And you have no idea how many people compare their previous relationship or their previous marriage or their previous family dynamic with their new dynamic. The way you deal with kids, the way you deal with the children, they want to compare those things. Well, their dad didn't talk to them like that, or their dad didn't do things like that. Well, he's not their biological. He's different. He's learning them. They're learning him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Their mom didn't deal with them like that. She didn't respond to them like that. Well, she's not their biological. So she's learning them like they're learning her. Right. And so there are a lot of things that if you knew going into this, it wouldn't be so big, it wouldn't be so alarming, because somebody would explain to you, you know what, you're gonna deal with some of this stuff.
Right.
And so that's why we're sharing this with you guys on this evening, because these are things that we've heard over the past 20 years. I wish somebody would have said that to me. And so we just went on to comprise a list of things that we've heard throughout the years and said, you know what? We're going to do it.
Comparison of the old to the new is dangerous too. Yep.
Most definitely. It's dangerous. It could be dangerous. You know, it's like me telling my wife that, you know, I'm used to cooking like this. Well, guess what's going to happen when I say that? I'm going to be cooking for myself.
Yep.
The moment,
you'll be hungry.
The moment you say that out your mouth is the moment you will be doing it yourself.
Yep.
And although I can cook, I prefer her to cook. Whatever.
You can cook.
I can cook. I got awards.
You can cook turkey wings.
I got awards to prove that I can cook. I really can cook.
Yes.
It's at my mama's house.
I ain't never seen them
It's
at
in
your mama's
storage.
house.
It's
Yeah,
in storage.
okay.
I got it though.
Yeah.
Yep, it could break the deal.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And so you want to make sure that you don't compare the new life with the old life. What's the next one, sweet?
It's possible that you will have a hard time putting your marriage first.
Wow. You know how many times we've heard this? And let me explain this. You got the children.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when we first got married. Mm-hmm. My wife was so used to spending time with the girls. She was so used to spending quality time with the girls. I mean, day in and day out, they would come to her room, they would sit, they would talk about issues, their day. It was just them for a long while. And so this was something that they were used to doing. Here I come along with my possessive self, with my attention needy self, and I want her time. Well, guess what? It posed a problem to her putting me first. Initially.
Right, it did. Mm-hmm.
It posed a problem. And it wasn't that she wanted it to be a problem. It was that she was just so accustomed to doing it that way. And me, with my lack of understanding, didn't understand that. Because I could have made that transition a lot easier.
Yeah, because you didn't allow time for that to happen.
Exactly. I didn't allow that time to, or I didn't assist in making that a proper transition.
Right.
And so you got to understand, man, listen, people say that all the time. It's hard putting the spouse first because it's been me and the kids forever. Or it's been me and my son or me and my daughter forever. Mm-hmm. And or vice versa. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be the male, the husband saying that. Yeah. It's been me and my son forever. Yeah. You know, it's been me and my daughter forever. And now that's wow. And that's a whole nother topic when you talk about the man bringing the children into it. Yeah. Because that's another type of relationship.
Yeah.
And so you got a woman coming into that dynamic, and now she ain't my mama. I got a mother. Mm-hmm. You know, she missed. There's already a lack of respect, cause she just miss whoever, you know. And so people get it all the time. Yeah. It's possible that you will have a hard time putting your marriage first. But if you understand that, guess what? You'll already go into this working on it, preparing yourself, making the necessary adjustments so that won't be a hard time. What's the next one, sweetie?
You will never be comfortable about the littlest comment. Wait a minute. You will never be comfortable about the littlest comment about your child, even if it's coming from the one that you said you would spend the rest of your life with. What you laughing at?
You know.
We love you too, honey.
You will never be comfortable.
No, I wasn't.
About the littlest comment about your child or your children.
Don't talk about my children. Don't
even
say
if
nothing.
It's coming from the one that you said you would spend the rest of your life with.
Don't do it.
Oh my God.
You want to see Jackie Chan come out? Don't do it.
Public Enemy says stop the violence. It's big, man, because You
Yeah,
know,
I was wild with that. Even before you came along, man, don't talk about my children.
oh my God.
Don't talk about my children.
Oh,
I'd
but
have had
that's
to
huge.
smack some heads for talking about my children.
That's huge. That is huge, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a problem, man. When you make a comment about that child, oh man, the fighting words. And it could be so innocent. It could be so
Yeah.
not even that important. But because that's your baby, because you've been together for so long, and it's just been you guys, or the two of you, or whatever it's been, and now somebody's come along and they say, they a little lazy. What you mean my child lazy? or they're a little mouthy. What you mean? And so instead of listening to what it is that person is saying, you're on the defense because that's your child or those are your children.
Right.
And so now you can't you got the blended spouse. They walking on eggshells about everything that goes on in the house because they don't want to bring to your attention what they're seeing.
Yeah.
You know, there were some things that I saw. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, but you used to say it too. You ain't just see it. You used to say it.
But I would say it first, though. Sometimes I would say it first. But whether I said it first or whether I said it out loud,
You used to say it.
it won't cool.
No, it was not. No, it was not.
And so it's big. You know what I'm saying? You're never comfortable. Even let me tell y'all something. 20 years later.
That's right. They still my children 20 years later.
They grown.
Right? They grown, but guess what? They still mine. Don't talk about them.
20 years later, I still be, but you better watch it.
That's right.
You know, but no, it's funny. We're laughing about it, but listen, we talked to some people where it wasn't a laughing matter.
Yeah.
We can laugh about it because we've so far past it. We are so far beyond that it's just, to us, it's super hilarious.
Right.
But we've dealt with some people like, hey, listen, no, don't talk about my son. What you mean? You know, ain't nothing wrong with him. He'll figure it out. And that joker, he don't want to get up. He don't want to clean the house. Both of y'all going to work. He's sitting there eating up all the cereal, all the cornflakes, all the leftover food. The husband come home and he gotta wait for a new prepared meal when there was already food left over. He done ate it. He running up the electric bill, the gas bill, but it's big. And so, but a lot of people never had anybody to talk to them about that. The
craziest, funniest part is when each spouse knows something might be true, but the biological parent still gets mad, argue, fall out, and then laugh at it like 6 months later.
How about 20 years later? But no, it is. Because 9 times out of 10, you know it's true. 9 times out of 10, you know what that person's saying is true. But
sometimes it ain't true. Sometimes you used to just say stuff.
You know that is not true. You know that is not true. You know that is not true at all. I've got a reputation to tell them like it is. You need to forget that one. See, it's still not comfortable. You might want to read the next question. What's the next one?
Oh boy. What time is it?
Oh my God, y'all.
No, it's 8 o'clock. It's
we got to pick this back up, guys. Listen, it is. Listen.
Oh my God, that was too funny.
Listen, you guys got to sit. Listen, I know it's something you want us to cover. How do they reach us, sweetheart?
Email us at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com.
Listen, we're going to talk about this again next week. We're going to pick this up next week.
Yeah.
Things I wish someone would have told me about the blended family. Listen, shoot us an email at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. We want to discuss it. We want to talk about it. There's so many people that's watching us, guys, that need to hear this. There's so many people that's watching us that just say, man, that was me. That what they're saying was us, baby. That was us. That's how we work. We know it. We're not talking to you guys about something we just threw up a piece of paper and it fell down and said, this we're going to talk. We talking about stuff that we've dealt with for 20 plus years, dealing with relationships. And I'm telling you something, we know it to be factual and true.
Right.
And so, listen, we love you guys. We thank you for viewing. And let's give our final thoughts, sweetie.
Always remember that every family is different and may have different challenges. So every blended family challenge should be addressed individually depending upon the challenge.
The personalities are different, so you want to use measures that work for you.
One of the main things you should always do is keep the lines of communication open in the blended family.
Parents should always show unity in front of the children, even if they secretly don't agree with each other.
Showing that you are unified diffuses the enemy's attacks in the blended family.
Lastly, you want to always demonstrate patience.
Having patience to work through the difficult challenges in the blended family will bring about a happy blended family.
And remember, you became a blended family because you chose to. Now choose to be successful. We love you guys. Next week, we're going to have part 2 of this. I'm telling you something. It's going to be hilarious. There's some more we got to cover. But if you want to put your piece in there, email us at weareblendedfamily@gmail.com. Until next week, same time, same best station. We love you guys.
Bye, guys.